What up, guys? My name is Clay Cooper. I'm the Director of Test Prep at Prep Expert. I'm also a perfect scorer on both the SAT and the ACT. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to cram for the ACT. So let's start with the bad news first. Unfortunately, it really isn't possible to cram too much for the ACT. You can try, it's just not likely to raise your score very much. If you really want to raise your ACT score, it's going to require a sustained effort over a longer period of time in the run-up to the test. Most of our students here at Prep Expert spend at least a month or two working to prepare for whichever test they're taking. Many of them spend a lot longer than that. Personally, I recommend spending longer than that. It really takes a sustained effort over a long period of time if you want to actually increase your knowledge enough to raise your score significantly. That said, if you do find yourself without much time left to study and you came to watch this video for some tips on how to cram, I can help you out. Basically, cramming comes down to three things: testing, analyzing what you're bad at, and learning the things that you need to learn to get better and raise your score. So the first step in the three-step process is to test. And what I mean by that is you should be taking realistic practice tests in whatever time you have left to cram for the ACT. Now, fortunately, ACT Inc., the company that makes the ACT, has published a bunch of old ACT official practice tests that you can use as you study. You can find those on the internet. I recommend that you print them off. And that kind of gets at an important point that you should pay attention to as you take these practice tests, which is this: take them as realistically as possible. You want to mimic as closely as you can what the actual experience of taking the real ACT on test day is going to be like. When you show up to take the ACT on test day, you'll be taking it on paper, you'll be taking it in a quiet environment, and you'll be taking it under strictly timed conditions. So make sure you follow those guidelines as you practice. Don't allow yourself extra time on any section. You'd be setting yourself up for failure. Like I said, print it out and take it on paper if you can. Take it in a quiet environment that's free from distraction. That way the scores that you get on these practice tests can give you a realistic approximation of how you might be doing on the real ACT as of right now. Once you've taken a practice test, you're ready to move into the second step of the three-step process, which is closely analyzing your test results. So, you've taken an official ACT practice test. What do you do now? The purpose of taking the official practice test is not just to mimic the actual experience of taking the ACT. That's really important. You want to make sure that you know what that's like before you show up to do it for real. However, there's another important purpose in doing it, and that is so you have a set of results from a real test that you can look at to see what you are good at, and more importantly, what you're bad at. If you want to get better at the ACT, if you want to raise your score, even if you're just cramming and you don't have much time to work on it, you need to know what you're not good at. Once you've identified the types of questions that you consistently get wrong, then you'll be in really good shape to study those concepts and learn what you need to learn to raise your score. So, after you've taken a test, when you're in the second step, analyzing your results, you want to make sure that you look at the results within each section of the test and try to identify any patterns that you can find in the types of questions you're getting wrong. For instance, maybe I get every quadratic equation question wrong in the math section. If that's true, that's really valuable information, because now I can go study quadratic equations and raise my score. Maybe I miss every punctuation question in the English section. Again, if that's true and I can identify it by analyzing my results, I've probably just picked up some points, because now I can go and learn the punctuation rules and make myself better at the test. So again, the second step in the three-step process, which is analyzing your results, should really have you looking carefully at how you did on the practice test that you took and trying to figure out what you're bad at. Not just in general. Don't say I'm bad at reading. Say I'm bad at science passages. And don't say I'm bad at English. Say I'm bad at punctuation rules. Something like that. Once you have narrowed it down to a very specific concept that you can work on, you can attack the test bit by bit and pick up points and raise your score. So, we've arrived at step 3 of the process, learning what you need to learn to raise your score. In step 1, we took an official ACT practice test in order to get a set of realistic results. In step 2, we analyzed those results really carefully to figure out what we're good at and, more importantly, what we're bad at. Now, I want to go out and learn the things that I need to learn in order to get better at the things that I'm bad at. That's how I pick up points that I'm not currently getting and raise my score. So what does that look like? Well, first, let's imagine that I've identified that I'm bad at punctuation rules. Once I know that I'm bad at punctuation rules, I've got to go out and seek guidance on how to use punctuation rules. And that can come from a wide variety of places. You can Google punctuation rules. That's one way to do it. If you're lucky enough to be able to take a prep course or have a test prep tutor, like one of our students here at Prep Expert, then you can make use of your instructor or your tutor. Say, hey man, I'm really struggling with punctuation rules. What do I need to know? What can I work on in order to get better at them? But even if you are not in one of our classes and you don't have a tutor, you can still find help on punctuation rules. You can ask your parents. Maybe they understand better than you do. Ask a teacher at school. Many of them will understand better than you do. Ask a friend who just gets punctuation rules that you don't get. Maybe you have an older sibling who knows more about the subject than you do. It's usually not too difficult to find someone who's better at whatever topic you're studying than you are. Once you've found somebody who's better at it than you are, make use of them. Don't be shy about asking for help. So between finding guidance maybe on the internet or in your test prep course or from your test prep tutor or from an expert closer to home like a parent, teacher, friend, or sibling, you should be able to find guidance on how to do better on the questions that you're currently doing poorly on. You can learn what you need to learn to get better at, for instance, punctuation rules. Once you've done that, you'll start getting more of those questions correct, and you will raise your ACT score. So now you've completed the 3-step process. Again, it's important to emphasize that once you've completed this 3-step process of testing, analyzing your test results, and learning the things you need to learn to get better at the questions you're currently missing, you can repeat it over and over again. So this plan can work over the course of a single day if that's all the time you have to study for the test. It can work over the course of a week if that's all the time you have. It can work over the course of 6 months if you've got all the time in the world. But the Cram plan works in short periods of time and in longer periods of time. Please don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. You can also subscribe to Prep Expert's YouTube channel for other videos just like this. And we'd like to hear from you. Leave us a comment in this video and tell us what you'd like to hear about next. What do you want advice on from a 2-time perfect score? We may feature that as the topic in our next video. You can also visit our website, prepexpert.com, for exclusive offers on all of our products, from in-person classes to online classes with myself or another instructor, to tutoring with any of our instructors. So until next time, keep working hard.